All right. So something that I feel right from the beginning is I do feel like I feel like you've been a highly intuitive person for a really long period of time. Like what I see right now is also since you were a kid that you would have been highly intuitive at the very least. But I also feel like you had spirit connection when you were really, really young as well. Do you understand this? Because I'm like, oh my God, right away what I see is I'm like, she's like a little thing and she has a very different experience than I've had. I'm not someone who had anything when I was young, but this has been something that's been with you for years. You did not stumble upon your gifts just recently at all. You have had these gifts for a very long time. You've been aware of them for a very long time. Also, it gives me the sense that you give readings on a regular basis, or you have at some point that you would do like one-on-one readings. Do you understand that as well? Okay. It also makes me feel that you work professionally already. Does that make sense to you? That you get paid for your readings? Okay. That all that stuff is coming in really fast. I'm like, oh wow, she's doing all this stuff. I do feel that you've taken a lot of different classes in the past as well, but you get really choosy. I say this in a super lovey way because I think it's funny, but it's like what I see is it's like you know what you like and you know what you do not like when it comes to learning from people. And the other thing too is that you already have a lot of specific ways of doing things. So what you've been looking for in your development for a long time is someone who will push your edges, push your boundaries, and get you outside of the normal ways that you've been receiving and giving and receiving and giving because you've been doing this for so long that one of the things you become aware of is like, I really want to grow this. There is an aspect of you that feels as if you've been working in the same way for quite some time. And when you're in that place where you get really frustrated about it, you feel like you've been at a plateau, even though you're very gifted in this, you get a lot of really accurate evidence, but you have a lot of aspirations for where you want to go with this. And you know that there's more for you. There's certain specific little kinds of evidence that sometimes you don't get, and it really frustrates you. And now you want to be like, I want to get that evidence. I feel also that you know that there have been times during development where stuff's come really easily, and then times where you feel like you hit a lull and you're like, what is happening? Except that you've had this experience of going through this before. One thing that I feel like I'm just adding in as Mel right now too, and because you've been at this like a million times longer than I have. However, what you recognize in me is that I have a really a fresh perspective that gets people out of some of like the old ways of teaching. I know that she hasn't been doing this nearly as long as I have, but I know that the perspective is fresh and there's like a kind of different way because I just keep coming back to this fact that what you want more than anything is to be pulled out of your comfort zone, even though it's very uncomfortable for you to be out of your comfort zone, which is true for a lot of humans, but you desperately want someone who you think will do it. And you want somebody who you think is smart enough to do it too, because I say this again in a funny way, but you're a real judger in the way that it's like, this is not what I want. And I think that there's a really good aspect to that for you as well, because you know what you want. You're very clear in the ways that you want your mediumship to expand. I do feel that you're wanting to expand the message aspect, giving the message, that aspect of your mediumship. I think you've also seen people do messages well in the way, and that's something that you came here for as well, is that you're like, I really want to get that message and I want to get it into flow. I also want some of the specific aspects of mediumship that I've had prior, and sometimes I feel like I'm not getting back there again, and I want to get back there again to the specificity, the little mind-blowing, jaw-dropping pieces of evidence that I've had before, but you want it at a level of higher consistency is the thing. And it is some of the sexy stuff. Sometimes it's names, is like that thing, because you've gotten names really well, and then you have other times where you don't, which PS, full transparency, I'm the same. But I think you also know what I know too, is that as you lean into these really specific pieces of evidence, they will come when you do the work, but you're wanting new, fresh ideas for how to do the work. That's what it is. So a lot of this about you is bringing your professional mediumship to the next level and wanting to break out of some of the old ways, get some new ideas for exercises, and see. You want to see by the end of this 12 weeks that you can do things that you couldn't done before. That will be your final say on whether or not this was worth it. And that's just the way that you work, and it's great. You understand everything I'm saying so far, right? Okay,
Yep.
great. And it really seems to me like for you, it's kind of like it's not super complicated. That's just the stuff that I want. But you also understand this aspect of wanting to flesh out your message and feel like you can get in flow for message, right? Because I do think that that's one of your top priorities right now, which I'm going to note, and I'm going to do a message exercise in class. But I also think really specific parts of evidence. So I feel that you have actually really enjoyed some of the exercises we've done lately in class because you have to stick onto something. And that was what you were looking for. And that's what you sensed you were going to get. It's not all of what you want, but it's an important aspect of what you want. Because this idea of being proficient and moving your mind exactly where you want to go, that's something that like you feel so proud of yourself when you do this because you do this, you know, you really do. Um, I'm getting this image of how I used to be a lone wolf, and I feel that you're so focused on where you want to go at times that mediumship development circles, like the community aspect to me for you, feels a little bit more like take it or leave it. You want the good stuff, but I also feel that you're really enjoying this aspect of being around other people, and that it's actually been quite pleasant for you because they're kind. I do think you've been in a few classes, and this would be important for development too. I think you've been in a few classes where you're kind of bored to tears, or you felt like it was the same old thing, or you didn't really jive with the community as well. And so I think you felt really unfulfilled at certain times and actually took a break from taking classes for a while before you decided to come back. Do you understand that? But the other thing is when you took the break, and feels like it's kind of on and off spotty, but it feels like there was a time where it's like, but when I'm not learning something, I do feel that I'm not being challenged. And that is like, even if it's not perfect, I've got to go back and focus in on this too. Um, Interesting. So I do feel that there's an aspect, and this is I think this is well, this is more for me too that I just see. I see you slowly opening yourself up because you do it in that way where it's like you like to really trust people, and your biggest thing too is that you very much value intelligence and precision in someone's craft. And as you see
Mhm.
that in someone, then you start to open up and then you're willing to listen to them more. And you really like to work with people like that as well. And so I see you slowly opening up to the group. And from me, I just feel like some of the things I'll do as well is just give guidance that I feel called to give. And I do think there's something here for you, not just in learning, because I think we're going to do a lot of the types of exercise, and we already have started to, that you like. But I also think there's an aspect of you being close and bonding with other people that in a really funny way is not just a benefit for you as a human to enjoy your life more, but there's an aspect of your mediumship that's going to expand from bonding more with the people in the group and seeing how community develops. And the reason for that is because I think there's also space for you to continue to work on fleshing out the personality, character of your contact that you get and contacts. Do you understand that aspect? Because what you've excelled at for a long time is the hard evidence. You've been really good
Mhm.
at that. But in terms
Mhm.
of fleshing out the character and personality, it's not that you don't get that. You actually get it proficiently. However, for you to really feel into this person, and then what I get is their dynamic with other living and past people and their relationship, specifically things that were said, apologies that need to be made. This stuff, like we said, is very closely tied into the message, but is also closely tied into personality and character and fleshing out that person more. This is an area that's a really big opportunity for growth for you. You understand that? And so
Mhm.
this is one of the other big things that you're looking for. And the way that I connect that to being in community with the class is that the more that you open yourself up, because you have hard walls, which is not a criticism at all, a lot of us do, but this is also really vulnerable work, right? And it's the kind of work where you need a lot of confidence and you need to get out of your comfort zone, and that's hard for everybody. But if you're somebody who already feels like you need trust for very good reasons, by the way, then it's a little more uncomfortable to open yourself up, and sometimes it just comes down to being more of an introvert, and that's great. But the more that you open yourself up to other people, the more you're going to start experiencing in your life and paying attention to relationship dynamics. What is it about that person? And even if you don't enjoy humans all the time, you can use that in your mediumship to start fleshing out those roles, because something you're so smart, and something that you intellectually understand is that you can give somebody all the hard fact evidence in the world. But if you're not talking about who that person was to them and what they used to say and how they felt around them and the biggest thing they want to say to them, you know that when spirit gets to their side, they're not like, tell them I was 33. That's really exciting. It's like, okay, that's impressive to the sitter that you're accurate. But what they really want to hear is like, hey, mom, what would you say to me when we pass? And that's where I think that's the potential that you're really looking to kind of start to feel into. You understand? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, that's the stuff that I'm getting right now. Okay, I want to look into your potentials a little bit more because I feel like there's just such a wealth of knowledge in you as well. I think you intellectually know so much about the practice of mediumship. I think you know so much about the practice of intuition. It makes me feel that you give both intuitive and mediumistic readings. Do you understand that? Okay.
Mhm.
Because when I see that, I'm like, she doesn't only work mediumistically. So I think you understand this as well. Also, do you do something else? It makes me feel that you give another like more niched type of reading. I don't know if it's numerology or astrology or something. Do you understand this aspect as well? That it makes me feel like you do one other type of reading that's not mediumistic and intuitive.
Um, kind of blended with the psychic intuitive, but it's trauma. I would
Gotcha.
do a lot of work with people.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Did you have a background in physical and in psychology too?
Yep,
Aha.
I'm a
Okay.
clinical therapist.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Because that's coming to me, but I'm like, I maybe it could also be because I think you're probably in the group where all of them are, I can't remember to be honest, but it's coming to me right away when you say trauma. I'm like, oh, she's one of the therapists as well. Okay, cool. It just makes me feel that there was some other aspect or modality of yours that kind of makes things different of what you do, which is really cool. Um, uh, Okay, this is really interesting too, because I do feel like I don't consider my mediumship and intuitive work is definitely working with energy. That's what we're doing. However, it's not the same as like being an energy worker, right? And yet it does make me feel that there's a high potential for you to do more healing energetic work, if you understand that. It could be something you've already, oh, have you taken healing classes already? Because that's what it feels like to me. Okay, exactly. So I just feel like, gosh, there's a lot of potential for you to be doing healing of all kinds, actually. Like hands-on healing is something that I see really strongly already. So hands-on healing type of work. Okay, I have to be transparent here that I've never done trance hands-on healing before. I'm gonna start with trance, not healing trance, but mediumship trance. But what I hear over and over again is trance healing for you. So I don't know if you've looked into a course like this before, but that feels like a really big potential because I think you have kind of a mixed bag relationship when it comes to like meditation and sitting in the power. There's something that's like making me laugh right now where it's like, I can do it and I've done it before, but I also don't really like it. Does this make sense to you? It's just like it's kind of this love-hate relationship where you're like, I know I need to do that thing, but I just don't enjoy it very much. And yet there's this aspect of me where I don't have an answer for you about like, okay, you like it by doing it this way. But I do feel that there's gonna come a time where you find great peace. And so I feel that it could be really cool to study trance in some way that is quite passive because there's also I think one of the challenges is just the calming and the clearing out of the mind for you. Do you understand? And I know that you
Mhm.
could say that about just about any person who works mediumistically and intuitively, but I do think that this is something you're conscious of. It's not a surprise when I say it, that to calm and quiet the mind. Have you suffered from anxiety yourself as well? Do you understand this? Okay.
Yeah,
That just came up to me really strongly too. So I think sometimes if we're going through a season of life where that's more prevalent, quieting the mind or being in stillness, the way that it comes across to me as I read you is that sometimes we're not always looking forward to, you don't always want to go to stillness because that's where you felt those things exacerbated at the most. And yet, you know that meditation is helpful for so many aspects of your life, being emotionally accessible, calming your mind, advancing your skill, but you just haven't found the love for it yet. And so I really encourage you to look at different modalities of, it doesn't even have to be mediumship, to be honest. It could be intuitive work. I do get like a big pull for trance for you, and especially trance healing, because I think that already you have a lot of potential. I think you may have even worked and done healing more before in some other kind of way, but I think hands-on healing would be really, really cool. That's like kind of my side of what I see psychically. So I'm going to switch over to spirit team for you.